That is the Boss Blues Driver, which arguably does not need a modification. But it's important to remember that modifications aren't always to fix something. I think if there's any pedal that's pretty darn near perfect, it's the Blues Driver. There's a reason John Mayer had it on his board forever. There's a reason that Tame Impala uses it. There's a reason that it's just like kind of good as it is, and people have loved it for years and years. It's probably the best Boss Overdrive if you were going to argue versatility. Yeah, so why mod it? Well, it goes back to this is the pedal that got me into everything. I fixed a broken foot switch on my trusty old Blues Driver, and I had a Keeley modded one, and so I went down this rabbit hole and I figured out what Robert was doing, and then I developed my own mod. And this is a very early unit. This is arguably, it may be the oldest JHS pedal I have possession of. It was called the Blue Drive, and it's just a monstrosity. I mean, everything's bad about this, but it's cool. It sounds great. Let me plug it in. Who wants me to plug it in? Real quick in the chat. Vote for plug-in, yes or no. I'm going to plug it in because I can. So I actually don't know that it works. Let me see. I would have modded this in like 07. Look at that old logo. Oh my gosh. JHS mods. I had no idea JHS pedals would exist. Let's see. right, so there's that. I haven't played that in a long time. So this wasn't the mod that we offered called the Blue Drive. This wasn't exactly it. This was me learning, and it's cool to have this. So I have it. Yay, everybody. Let's plug the other one back up here. What do we got going on in the comments over here? Thanks to everyone who's logged in with us. I'll set this aside, but how cool is that, huh? I mean, for me, it's really cool. I printed this on Avery labels from Walmart. I bought all these parts from Radio Shack. Look at that horrible logo. Look at that. But yeah, it's cool. It's a piece of my history, so it's very, very fun. There's some piece of food on it or something. Anyway, I thought I'd play that for you. It doesn't really correspond with exactly what we're going to do here today, but I just wanted to show you that the Blues Driver is ultimately what got me into this mess. It's why we're here, and it's fun to revisit it. I've worked up a little simple mod that is almost what we called the Blue Drive later. Here's kind of what we're doing. You'll notice that I flipped a toggle on the old version I just played and turned into fuzz. This is a mod that I learned from Brian Wampler back in the day in his mod book. So I'll show you this. The fat mod is a mod that Keeley made famous. So we're going to put that in there. I used to do that as well. He released it to the public back on a forum. And then it's a pretty simple, I don't know, we'll call it the Blues Driver mods. Maybe my power won't go out today like last time. And in these comments here, let's see. Yeah, there's all kinds of fun stuff in here. All right, so let's basically try to dive right on in. So what do we have? We have the classic stock pedal. Now, there is something you need to know. Not every single version of the Blues Driver is modifiable. So I'm looking up something here for you. Let's see. Let me find the picture. I'm going to show you some things that are not moddable. You'll notice the back of this. The back of this is like, looks that way, see? So this is an older version. These are through-hole parts. So let me see if I can screen capture this. This is the newer version. So look closely at the differences. Yeah, that glare is hard. So that's the old version. This is the new version. There's way less on the back of the newer version. Okay, one more time. Pretty busy, tons of writing. New version, not that busy. Okay, so you cannot mod that version. Here's one other example. I pulled this off Google Images. I have whoever this is, thank you for making this. I don't know who to credit, but it was very useful. When you open one up, this is what it looks like here. Let's see here. Newly produced Boss pedals use surface mount. It says you can't mod them, which is not true. You can mod anything if you have the right tools. But yeah, we're dealing with two different beasts here. So if you want to do this mod, you should buy an old Blues Driver. They'll be cheaper, and you could just get it on Reverb or eBay. So cool. Now that that's out of the way here, let's see. Let's take a look at what it takes to break this apart. The first thing we want to just go ahead and do is take the knobs off, I think. That'd be solid. Let's do that. The Boss pedals are great. The knobs just pull right off. Forgive my Band-Aid. I cut myself changing the battery in a doorbell. Life is difficult. Life is very difficult. So we're going to just pull these off. It's amazing how hard that is to do with the Band-Aid finger. All right, so there you got this, okay? We're not going to remove any of that yet, but I just want to get those off because we are probably, depending on time, going to remove this, okay? I'll lay this right here. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to just remove the 4 screws. I also want to say I upgraded the overhead camera. I hope you're happy because it looks so much better, and I can zoom in a minute. I also have a wider frame and better autofocus. I did this for you, just for short circuit. The camera that I had was very annoying. Just did not fit the bill, so we have a little bit cleaner picture today on the overhead. All right. So let's zoom in just a little. Look at that. Look at us. Look at us, family. All right. So now I have that off. The Boss pedal consists of a back plate. We'll sign this later to be cool. But there's another look. This is the version you can modify. It has a much more writing on the back. And then it has that blank. I'll set this aside. Then there's a protective plastic cover. What this does is these are all conductive pads. This keeps this back plate from ever touching those. It's like a shield. So we do not lose that and do not harm that. That is very, very important. All right. So the first thing we want to do is kind of pull this out a little. And we're going to have to work with it generally attached but out. Like, we can't do what we did with the Daddio. We don't want to remove all this. It would just take too long, and it's not necessary. But what I do want to do is there is a ribbon cable here. And if you look closely, it is zip tied. I'm just going to clip that zip tie, and it'll be fine. Do not clip the wires. Be very precise and clip right there with like some very pointy, like, see these? These are like super pointy. And if you want to see what tools I use, I put an Amazon link to a shopping list. You can go in there and look at my favorite tools. It's in the description. So it has like some of the basic tools. I'm going to be adding to it. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier in short circuit. Bam. I clipped it. Just grab that zip tie with like a different pair of pliers here, something that's a little more grabby, and try not to break anything. But there you go. That's our first part removed. So now I can spread that and just be careful. Don't go nuts, and like just know that like we're gonna have to desolder this little diode that's like down in here, D3. So we had to get down in there, okay? But that's the gist. You're also going to notice some capacitors they're not gooped, but they glued them together at the factory, which is very interesting. Like right here, they have glue on them. All right. So the best thing we can do to start is like kind of attack this in a couple waves. The first thing we want to do is just remove all these diodes. So I want to remove D3, 7, 8, and 9, and D10. I'm just going to do this all in one wave. Now, D3, 7, 8, and 9 they're all clipping diodes. We're going to put a pretty generic 1N4001, which is a silicon rectifier diode here. And it'll give it a different clipping that I like. It's a little more, I would say it's a little more compressed. Then in D10, we're going to put in any type of germanium glass diode. So I have 1N34A-ish. I am not going to use my vintage 1N34As. But what I can do, and these are like really cheap on eBay, I think I have 50,000 of these for like a special project at some point. These are like the Russian D9. So these are fine. These are perfectly fine to use. I'm just going to grab one of those. That'll be my like little glass vintage diode. These are vintage, they're cool, but they're not as expensive. So I'm going to set that aside right there. And then the 1N4001s, you can use 002s, you can use 003s. It really doesn't matter, but this is what those look like. So I'm going to pull out 4 of these. Okay, so I have 4 of those. And they're just like these black silicon. They're a little bit bigger than a normal 1N414A that you might see. That's like a normal 1N414A. I love this bandage view. It's really nice. Bandage view sounds like a Green Day song. All right. All right. So we have those diodes kind of set aside, and I have my soldering iron set pretty hot. You could change tips for this kind of thing. You don't have to. I'm just going to like make do with this normal tip. I used it last week. It was fine. But I just want to locate D3, D7, and D8. Okay. So locating those, D3, D7, D8, and D9. So where are those? Well, there's a bunch of diodes right here. Let's zoom in a little bit better. I'm going to do my best to keep this in the frame for you. Here we go. So D7 is here. D8 is here. Okay, I'm learning this new lens. D7, D8, D9, and D10. They're all right here. So we're going to remove all 4 of these diodes. Okay, all 4 of those. And then D10, I have not modded a blues driver in a long time. So where is D10? Let me remember where the crap D10 is right there. I need D3. D3 is the one in the little. D3 is over here. It's going to be the problem child, the black sheep of the diodes right here. All the way in there. Let's do this chunk right here first, okay? So I'm going to flip this over. So you have to locate that back pad. So one thing I want to do here is notice it's to the side. Just keep your eyes on that location, like stare at it, and then flip it over. And you're immediately going to need to remove 4 pads. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 more. Makes a total of 8 pads. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we can do here is take a Sharpie, and just for my sanity, I could put a black dot, and that just kind of gives me a signal for my memory. Hey, remove all of these 8. That's what I'm telling myself right now. Let's go ahead and mark this problem child D3. It's a booger because it's way over here. So it's right there. It's actually hard to, there on the camera. It's D3. Now, you want to think about surroundings. You know, when you tell someone how to get somewhere, you're like, hey, go turn at that red building over there. And then, you know, that whole thing. Well, let's do that on the board. What's near this that's identifiable on the back? That long IC is going to be a strip of pads on the back. So we know we're going to be 2 normal components down from that. So that is definitely, it can be tricky. Like, bear with me. You want to take your time. I'm going to take my time. The edge of that IC, and then you have that little part right here. It's difficult. This is a difficult part to spot. But I'm going to work over from a capacitor here, a resistor here, and then I'm going to know that that's right there on that plane. And I found it. It is these 2 pads. I'm going to take my Sharpie, and I'm going to put a dot in between them so I don't lose them. Let me confirm that I'm not an idiot. That is correct. So on the back, I put a Sharpie right there, and I put a Sharpie point here. So I need to remove a total of 10 pads. Okay, here we go. 10 pads. We're going to desolder these. I'm going to turn my fan on, and if you're here, you're a nerd, so welcome. There are different ways to remove solder. I covered this last week. You can use a solder sucker, which essentially uses air pressure. You push this in and then that, or you can use braid. You may actually see me use braid, even though I said I hated it last week. Sometimes it is useful. So let's see what happens here when I try to remove these components. Put the trash bag kind of under my legs so I can empty the good old faithful solder sucker here once it's, let's see, here we go. So I'm just going to apply heat here, and I'm going to apply the solder sucker, and let me let you see that up close. It removed, I have a closer camera. It removed the solder from that pad. See the black Sharpie dot? It removed that, but keep in mind, there's more on it. I don't want to go ripping on it yet. I got to get all the solder out, because if you've ever modified anything, you already know how easy it is to destroy a printed circuit board. Because if I don't get all of the solder off of these pads, then what happens is you try to remove the part, but the part's still barely soldered, and you rip up the pad. The pad is the little circle of copper that the legs go through. I'm not using my solder fan yet because there's not really any smoke. So I am going to use braid just to like help me out here. I'm going to lay it on the part like this. And then I'm just going to apply a lot of heat, and you'll see smoke coming up with the braid. It should work that way. I actually need to change my focus settings on the camera here. I'll do that in a second for y'all. I see that it's getting distracted. I'm going to do center focus. Hold on one second. Let me readjust that for you. It is on wide. We don't want no wide. We want center. Let's do center. All right, that should keep you a little bit better focus. All right. So I've kind of removed the solder here, and it's just hard to know. You can take your iron and kind of like push those legs a little. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But what I need to do is take some like needle-ish nose pliers. Now I go to the other side carefully. Don't rip these cables and stuff. And I want to grab a hold of D3 and just pray to the gods of solder. Let's see here. It's generally coming out, I believe. This is difficult. It doesn't matter if you break the part. It's still soldered a little bit. So let's do this again. Sometimes you have to add solder. Sometimes it's helpful to like reflow the solder. Y'all like the sun behind me here? What is this view? The sun is perfectly aligned with my basement window, and the smoke is coming up. It's like a, man, I need to screenshot this, make a meme. That's good stuff right there. All right. So let's see here. Let's see if I can get this removed. It wants to come out. Let's see. I don't want to break the part, but I don't mind breaking the part. It's barely hanging on. Let me try a different pair of pliers. I'm going to use a more flat plier pair. Again, these are, nope, that one's bent. I think my pliers are bent on the tip. There we go. It was the pliers. So we pulled that out. It's a tiny little part. Look at that little diode. All right, so we're going to remove more of those. So we got that completely out. See the Sharpie hole? The two holes are clean. Solid. We did good, y'all. We did good. So we have removed the very first diode, and that's D3. Now I just want to remove these diodes here. Okay. This is 8 pads total. So you're hanging out with me. Let's see. I love the comment that I turn on to that 70s show. It's funny. All right. This is what you signed up for. This is why I played a lot of guitar at the front. I knew we'd be doing this for a minute. Solder is generally coming out of this pedal pretty well. Sometimes with older pedals, you just you just struggle because the solder can be really just worn, just old. Could be corroded. It could have been in certain temperatures. This is coming out okay. And again, my main goal here, I'm not trying to salvage these diodes. They're not valuable at all. I just don't want to rip pads off the board because as you saw last week on the Daddio, I had to do that repair. That kind of stuff's just annoying. Like, we don't want to go through that. In a perfect world, you're modifying and you just simply like, I mean, you just simply get the part and remove it, and you don't have to do like repair work. So even though these soldered out decent, like that's pretty good. See that? It's not great. I'm just going to take the extra step here, show you some patience. And I'm just going to lay some braid over it. Let's see that. While I do this, let's see the smoke cam. I promise I'm not breathing in. I'm trying not to. It just looks great. There we go. What a hilarious, like, the sun beaming, the mod of the blues driver. This is hilarious. Maybe I'll turn my fin on. It is getting a little smoky up in here. Okay. If you need a nap, just let that white smoke, let the white noise put you to sleep. I've explained to y'all a few times, doing these lives, there's a reason no one does this. I'm not speaking highly of myself. I'm more or less just telling you I'm a psycho. Because these are hard. I'm having to operate a camera switcher, a mixer desk. I'm having to intelligently work on a circuit. And then I have to explain what I'm doing. I have to look at camera angles. It's pretty stupid. There's a reason nobody live streams this kind of thing. And so I'm just letting you know, bear with me if my mind dissolves. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. I have unsoldered all of those pretty good. Like, it's decent. Like right here. Sorry. It's decent. One of those does not look good at all. Let me redo that. It's going to move pretty fast. I'm gonna play it after I do the clipping diodes so we can hear it again. Because I explained to you last week, when you're doing a mod, it's so tempting to like rush and do all the parts at once. But I wouldn't do that. I would typically advise, hey, like, do one thing at a time and make sure you didn't break it on the one mod that way. Because if you go and change a bunch of parts out, you're in trouble if you don't know where you broke it. And you're voiding all warranty and everything here, right? So we just want to be careful. Now, let's see if these remove. Yep. Pretty effortlessly. You know, I need a longer lens here. I have the 2470. I'm going to buy a 105 on the Prime Day sale. That way I can get a little bit better zoom. We're learning. I'm trying to make short circuit a little more high quality for you. But I think you can see what I'm doing. Also, like this angle's pretty nice and it's focusing well. All right, they all popped out. Well, hold on. I speak too soon. There we go. So I have removed all of those. See, now those diodes are empty, right? I didn't damage any traces. We did good. We did good. All right. Who wants me to play it with no diodes? I don't know that I've ever done that. I love that I'm asking you for permission to do something I'm literally going to do anyway. Let's see. I want to hear it with 0 diodes. It should just sound unhinged and probably horrible. Let's see. And very loud. crap, that sounds cool. It sounds more like a tweed. It's clipping, it's not clipping through diodes, which means it's like this looser, it's the op amp, or it's the transistors and everything clipping. I really like that. Okay, if you just want to use a blues driver as like a baller clean drive pedal, that clean sound is sick. No diodes in it. I love that. This is the gain all the way off and just kind of cranking. That's fun. So yeah, that's the beauty. Oh, there's a squealing high pitch. Yeah, it's so much open, like it's like a little high pitch thing going on. Anyway, let's stay focused and try to finish it out. Let's see here. So let's install these diodes. This is not rocket science. I am simply going to insert all of these. D3, so D10 though is going to be germanium. Now the reason I'm doing that is this is a 4-diode symmetrical clipping arrangement, meaning there are 2 diodes on each side of the waveform. We covered this in the Electra Understanding Diodes short circuit. So it's literally very visible. D7 and D8 are clipping one side, and D9 and D10 are clipping the other side of the waveform. So what I want to do is I want to make this asymmetrical. So I'm going to put the D10. You could do any one of these. I do D10. So D10 is going to be germanium. So you're going to have this one diode that's different than the others, and that's going to be asymmetrical clipping. So here's what I want to do. I want to go ahead and populate. We're going to stand the parts up too. We're going to do this kind of thing. So we're going to bend the diodes like this, okay? We're not going to try to do them flat down. It's just not enough space. So we're going to bend the diodes where they stand up like that. Put it against my hand. See that? They're standing up. So let's give it a shot here. Let's do D7. Line up the line of the diode with the line that's on the circuit board. You'll see a line on the circuit board. Put the line of the diode on that same line. That's called the cathode. And that's what it looks like inserted. All right. Let me give you a closer look. Right here. So that's inserted properly, and it fits just fine. So let's do another one. Actually, it doesn't hurt to kind of bend those legs on the back just a little bit, so you can like make sure it doesn't fall out. Just bend the legs a little bit. All right, let's do the others. I'm going to go ahead and shape these. They've all got to be shaped. So let's see here. I'm basically just bending them all so I don't have to do it in a minute. And again, you just want to watch your polarity like a hawk. Polarity like a hawk. These, I need to check the polarity. I'll do that in a second. The Russian germaniums, some of them are wonky. So I'm going to check that in just a second. But right now, I'm just inserting these rectifiers in here. These bigger chunky boy diodes. I'm going to go ahead and put the D9. Keep your polarity straight. Very important. One of my legs here is not wanting to go through. That means there's solder on the other end. Instead of unsoldering it, sometimes I just use like a little hook like this and just kind of like, or a very small, where is my tool for this? A very small screwdriver, and just kind of turn just a little bit. Want to be careful. Sometimes that's all you need is like it's hung on the top. let's see, let's put this back in here. There we go, that fixed it, so it went right in. Yeah, sometimes this solder is just like a clump of solder you can like kind of remove a different way. So there's those. I want to solder all of these at one time. So there's those 3 diodes are in there. Let's solder all of these at one time, but I'm going to take this DCA that you've seen me use with transistors, and I'm going to figure out the polarity of this. I need to know which side of this is the cathode. So I'm going to insert it here across 2 of the wires. A transistor has 3 wires, but they're both semiconductors, so you can put it like that. And I'm just going to turn it on. And I need to know, I think the red side is actually, let's see. Blue is the anode. Yeah, so it's like backwards. Okay. Yeah, blue is so the red, let me make sure. Yeah, red is, okay. Red is actually the cathode. That's a little surprising. All right, so we did that. Get that Atlas DCA. Here we go. Let's put this right here. And voila. Bend the legs back. I need to solder all of this now. And then we will put a down. Let's see here. All right. So I'm just soldering it up. Heat the pad and the part a little bit. Put the solder on there. Let it flow for a second. Remove the I called it a wand. I guess the soldering iron is a pedal builder's magical wand. Okay. Same thing. Touch the pad, touch the leg, let it flow. Bam. Let's see here. Make sure you don't have any solder bridges where the parts touch. It's okay if there's a bridge and the pads already connect. That's fine. Let's see here. We're just soldering away. This does not seem like interesting content, but y'all really ate this up last time with the Daddy-O. I think it's like Olive Garden. When you're here, your family. I think that's what it is. Let's see here. I'm gonna clip these extra leggings off, these leads. Just clip them. And get them close. And then I would highly recommend, what did I do with it? Really? Here it is. I'd highly recommend like a little magnifier like this and just kind of like, I just get it and like really make sure there's no bridging. It's like almost a bridge there. And all you really have to do is like run your iron down the middle of where the bridges are and it'll generally melt it off. Yeah. Let's insert this last diode here in the D3 position. Remember D3 over here, this little tricky one in the back right here. So just make note of the polarity. The negative or the cathode is over there. That hole is too small. Let's see here. Same kind of problem. Looks like I just need to desolder it a little bit better. It still has some solder on the back side of it here. It might even be a leg of it. Yeah, there is. There's a leg of the diode in it. Let's see. Got it. Look at that. I desoldered it, but there's a leg that was stuck in there. So when I pulled off that original diode, I apparently broke the leg off, which is fine, and the part's not valuable. So that'll definitely keep your part from going in. So this is where that's where people always freak out and mess up. They won't slow down. They're like, well, won't the part go in? And then they rip the traces up. And it's honestly just be patient. Like, I cannot tell you enough. You just need to be patient. Slow down, chill out, take a breath. You'll be good. That light's kind of gone. Oh, well. It was a moment. It was with us, and then it was gone. The fleeting beauty of thy sun with solder flames and ash. All right, so I have modded the diodes. Let's play it, make sure it works. I'm not too concerned about the overall sound yet. It's gonna sound fine. I mean, this could be where you stop for sure. Like, this is a good enough mod because it would be different. But you know, in the spirit of, we don't even need to be modding a blues driver, just keep that in mind as well. So before that was too loud, but now I put the diodes in, which are clamping and limiting the circuit, and it's this volume. I mean, that sounds so good because I can hear the asymmetry. It's smoother though, it's much smoother. So it's much more compressed in a wonderful way, in my opinion. Obviously, this is my mod. Do what you want with yours if you don't like this. I like this a lot. It's much more compressed in the way that I want an overdrive to be. To me, this sounds more like a blues breaker a little bit. So let's keep trucking. My goal on these is 1 hour. I'm not gonna go over too much. So we did all the diodes. We did every bit of this, right? So let's do this cap. Let's just pull all these caps. So I'm gonna pull C34, C10, and C18. C34, I'm gonna skip C100 because you don't have to remove a part for that. C34, C10, and C18. All right. Here we go. I hear my guitar humming. Really? There we go. All right, C34. Where are you, C34? Let's look here. So looking down at the board, C34 is right there. So super easy to get to. Let's mark it with a Sharpie. Let's get all these marked. There's like this chunk of 3 capacitors here. It's this one right here with the black I just drew on it. So C34. I'm going to find it because there's a symmetrical line of 3 resistors. When I flip it over, there'll be a different thing there. There's your 3 resistors. That's my cap right there. Bam. So that black dot is that cap. The next thing I want to find is C10. So C10 is, Man, I have not modded this in so long. I don't remember where anything is. Oh, there's C10. C10's in that problem area. Kind of over here, and No Man's in Between the Ribbons. Between the Ribbons is my favorite album by Mineral. Any Mineral fans in the chat? So finding that, there's going to be the IC, and then a gap, and then the cap. So there's the IC. The IC's there. Where's the gap, though? Hold on. Let's find it. That's tough. Where is that one? Hold on. Is that... Wait. That's C9. C10 is this one right here. C10 is that one. I almost got it wrong. So there's a transistor and a jumper. This is the cap right here. Little dot. It's always a little hard and you're always second guessing yourself, but that's it. That's definitely it. Okay. And then C18. So C34 is going to be more bass, less treble. That's going to give us more bass, less treble when I change it. C10, the one I just marked, it's going to make the drive smoother. It's a EQ emphasis for the drive. And then C18 is going to tighten the bass, make it a little more mid-heavy. So C18, where are you? They're all here together, maybe, maybe not. C18's on the edge, super easy. That's C18 right there. Just flip it over, bam. All right, so I have all my spots marked, and we're gonna remove them. Let's see here. Okay. Let's remove this one up here first. All right. I'm going to run the extractor for some reason. I'm an idiot. I just unsoldered my diode that I saw. You're using a Sharpie. Don't confuse your last part with the current part. Oh my God. I just unsoldered one of the diodes. Easy fix, easy fix. Just solder it back. Solder it back, Josh. It's okay. It's okay, Josh. Everything's fine. Let's calm down. You got really excited. Let's start right here. Let's do this cap. I know. Confirm what you're doing is not the old part, okay? I knew something was up when the solder looked different. I was like, hold on. So heat that up. That did not remove well at all. Let's heat it up again. I know that a lot of you just watch this to see if I fail. And you know what? It's all right. I like being the circus act. You're all like, look at Josh, he's gonna fail and make a fool of himself on the internets. Ha ha ha. He doesn't know what he's doing. Ha ha ha. Any of you talk like that? I'd love to hang out. All right, next cap is this cap right here. Okay. Removal. Bazanga. Any Sheldon fans? It's kind of a mid show, but like it's a solid show. Not Young Sheldon, but Big Bang Theory. Any fans? Anyone who hates the show? I kind of hate it and like it. I don't know. Just a hot take. Young Sheldon's solid. I need to finish it. I think it's more clever. Also, growing up in the South, I think the Young Sheldon thing is funny. Like, all the tropes are so real. It's like most of my family. All right, so we've removed that and that. I need to remove this last capacitor here. Okay. If you're just tuning in, I'm sorry, this is boring. I'm desoldering capacitors to improve the tonal complexities and harmonic range of the Boss Blues driver, and also trying not to inhale solder because I hate the sound of the vent. Yes. Tune in next time after Thanksgiving. I don't know what I'm going to do. I did a poll, by the way. There was a pretty serious vote. It was this mod or the Third Man Jack White fuzz kit. And this won. I might do the fuzz kit next time, though. I wish I could, like, have the... I wish I could have the comments, like, injected into my brain where I don't have to look at them. Maybe there's some way to do that with AI. Anybody have a brain injection software? I'd pay for that. Probably like a $9.99 a month subscription. I'd be willing to do that. Let's see. Okay. At the risk of not wanting to... What am I trying to say? I don't want to ruin this board. So again, I'm doing both. A Boss pedal has a very particular type of solder. So I think it's smart to use the solder sucker and also just hit it with a little bit of the braid because it's just worth doing. You get into these situations where if you don't remove the solder, you're going to be pulling on the leg and then rip a pad out, which on the Boss pedals is usually pretty easy to remedy with a jumper, but we don't want to have to do that. We don't have time for that today. I'm just going through and kind of heating these joints that I just desoldered with the solder sucker, and I'm inhaling. Okay. Got a lot of smoke there. All right. And you take your Dyson and you just vacuum. You just take your Dyson and you vacuum like this. All those little shards. And then you can vacuum the pedal. Look, Ma. Dyson's never paid me a dime. Okay? Let's just make it clear. Here we go. Remove the cap. Take your pliers, wiggle it like a loose tooth. It kind of looks like a tooth. Again, you got to be careful. We don't want to ruin the pad on the other side. You also want to make sure you even have the right part. Yeah, I do have the right part. Okay, that leg broke off, so I did not unsolder it well. There's a leg sticking out right there, but that'll be easy to deal with in just a second. Not a big deal. Caps are... Ooh, that tooth came right out, y'all. Right out. I love the bad guitarist. There goes used Dyson prices. That joke gets old. But it's funny. It's funny. It's funny. I get it. All right. All my teeth came out easily, except for the one over here. So all I'm going to do now is just reheat it with the solder sucker, and generally that leg will just get caught up into the solder sucker because it's loose. Maybe, maybe not. It's wiggling around here. Come on. Okay. Old school. Take some needle nose, grab the lead. Oh my God. Hold on. It's like microscopically small. And these pliers are bent. Okay, it just fell out. So there it is. There it is. Ah, it fell on the table. I know that's offering some comedic relief, but I hate the metal shavings on the bench. So that's why I did that. All right. Now we have all those out. We have removed them all. Those caps are gone. And we got to put in the new caps. So C34, a 0.047. Where are you at? Where are you at? 0.047. Oh, you're over here. 0.047. I need 2 of those. I got these Tic Tac versions. All right, so C34, you're going to give me better bass and, well, more bass and less treble. C34 right here. Bam. Bend the leads out so it doesn't fall. Bazanga. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do C18, which is like tighter base. C18. Where are you? You're the one on the edge. I'm going to insert you right here. These are not polarized, so it doesn't matter what direction. That's inserted right there. And then the C10 is a 0.01. All the way over here. This my 0.01s are in the worst possible spot on the face of the earth. Okay. There's a metal film cap. Fancy. All right. So we're going to put C10 right here. And bend the leads. Got all those caps in there. And let's solder them up. Man, if you're still here, you're a real champion. All right. Just soldering it in. Let it flow for a second. This is going well, y'all. I haven't ruined anything yet. That's my 1 hour timer. So we've been here an hour together. I'm not scared to go over. I'm going to reset that to 30 minutes. Okay. Okay. I will not go over 30. I think I'm almost done. I don't even have the 3mm LED to change the status LED. This will be the first pedal I've ever modded that I won't have changed the status LED. Also, I'm giving this away on the stream today. Let's see how this sounds and see if I want to stop it here. Let's see what I want to do. Also, what the crap? Hold on. Okay. There we go. Let's see what I think. Let's plug this in. Let's plug in the output, the power cable. I will be giving this away on the stream. Okay. Little short circuit insider information. I'm running SM7 on my cab, and then that's in the right ear, left ear, and in the right ear is from my UA aux. So if you're in stereo, you can hear it like UA aux versus the real amp sound in the room. I've never told y'all that. I'm sorry. That's the drive like way down. It now feels, it does all the clean stuff, but now it does the plexi thing. That is a straight up JHS Charlie Brown kind of plexi thing. Do you hear the edges? They're like a good. All right. I'm not going to do the Keeley mod because I don't feel like I need to, but I want you to know all you got to do for the Keeley mod is on C100, put a 0.068 over the top of the existing cap. What that means is, you know, like let's say that's the existing cap. You just take another new cap and you solder it right over the top of it to the same points. So it looks like this sort of. It's kind of bizarre, kind of weird. Hold on. Yeah, see that? Parallel. You don't have to unsolder necessarily. You could just put it like on the leads like this, bend it and solder it. You can put that on a switch, and that's the Keeley Fat mod. And that was publicly disclosed from him years ago, so I'm not like giving you any kind of top government secrets here. Do we want to make this a fuzz? I've gone an hour in. I feel like I want to leave it alone. There is a fuzz mod. I'm not super wanting this to go much longer. Maybe I could roughly do the fuzz and show it to you. It's so tempting because the fuzz mod has to be on a switch. Like hands down, you have to put it on a switch. But you take a 1 UF cap, and if you notice, I wrote it out here. Best on a toggle. Desolder the left leg of R29. That's a resistor. And the right lead. Oh my God, Josh. Leg. Josh can't spell. New stinger. Whatever. Leg of Q10. And that's looking down at the board. Put the 1 UF cap across those points. So what that looks like is you have, where is it at here? You have, I need a pointer. Give me a pointer right here. People are, it's very torn. Fuzz it, leave it, fuzz it, leave it. I don't know. Q10 is right here. And then R29 is here. So you're putting a 1 UF cap across those. I'm so freaking torn. I kind of don't want to get into this because it's working and sounds phenomenal. And I've already gone an hour. What do I do? All right. Q10, that leg right there. R29, that leg. Dadgummit. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm sorry. I don't want to drill the pedal right now. I don't want to drill it. Maybe I do like a little short bonus episode and do another Blues Driver later. I showed you how to do the mod. To me, the Blues Driver fuzz thing is super cool. But this is like so usable. And I want to like at least give some honor to the like way they meant for it to be used with this mod. So I'm not going to do the fuzz mod here. All right, I'm not. Do it. Think of the children. Oh my God. Okay. All right. I'm going to mod it. God, what time is it? 4:09. All right. I can do this in 15 minutes if I'm lucky. All right. I need a toggle switch. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm basically going to crash and burn here in front of you because I'm introducing variables. Where are my toggles? Where are they? Hold on. Oh my gosh. I'm having to like find my toggle. Y'all don't know what you've just done here. I'm digging up above. Oh my gosh. It's time to watch Josh have a meltdown. Hey kids, you want some switches? I got switches. Kids, look at the switches. Here's an on. That's the switch you need. You need a single pole double throw on. That way it's on and on. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. My Lord. I haven't pulled that bucket out in a while. All right. We're going to unsolder these. This is not going to be hard. I'm going to survive. I still kind of hate all of y'all, but you're fine. All right, here we go. We're fuzzing it. We're doing it. Bell, uh-oh, he broke. So let's unsolder in good fun here. This will be fun. It is a great mod. We want that leg and that leg to be unsoldered. We don't want to unsolder the part. We just want to unsolder that single pad and that single pad. So here's what those are up close. It's like that pad and that pad. Okay. So let's unsolder those. We're not removing the part because the part stays. We're adding to it. Okay. We're just going to heat this up. And really, we're just wanting enough room to put wire down through there with the part so we can just touch some solder back on. Nothing crazy. It's really just giving us some space and room for a wire. All right. So now we need wire. I have everything I have at this bench is for breadboarding, which is like, of course, obvious. What wire do I have? I have some yellow wire here. This will work. This is really funny. All right. Let's just cut off a bit of wire. Way too much wire, but I just want to be sure I have long enough leads. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're putting that across the part, right? So I want to essentially strip a long enough piece of this wire so that it can go down through the PCB and have some left over. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now. Just strip one end of that. I need to get it into the PCB. Okay, now essentially just putting it right there. Hold on. Let's see here. What we used to use is an actual push pin. I was not ready to do this. I always use push pins, like a thumb pin. Because you have to enlarge the hole a little bit. And I don't have a tool for that. I don't have a push pin on my desk. Let's see, what can I make work here? I really like I used to have more of these dental tools available. I guess I'll use this one. Let's see. See if I can bend this out a little bit more. This is wild. I'm modifying tools to modify a pedal. This is not going to end well. That might end well. Let's see here. All right. No, I need a push pin, and I don't have one. It's like the perfect tool for this, but all right, I'm gonna attack this differently. I'm gonna insert the wires underneath the legs. I'm gonna barely lift the resistor up. Just gonna barely lift it up, or try to. I'm not going to worry about going through the hole. I'm going to go under the leg if I can get a tool that'll grab it better. Let's see here. Perfect. Run that wire under there. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You can do it. Come on, little wire. Perfect. We did it. Let's see. So I'm improvising here. This is like jazz for mods. Here's what I did. I put that wire, I lifted the resistor edge up just a little, and I put the wire under it and bent it around. See? I just bent it around a little bit. And now I'm going to just solder it. Let's see here. And solder that onto that leg. Because I unsoldered the other side, I want to be sure that I resolder that pad as it was. Okay, one side in. Okay. Now I need to do the same thing to the transistor, which is super easy because the transistor, the legs are open. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to pull that wire around. I definitely need a 105 lens on this camera. I will get one. That way it'll be a little clearer for you next time. But essentially, all I'm doing here is I'm wrapping that wire. I gotta make sure it does not touch the middle lug, the base of that transistor. So let me show you that up close. I wrapped, see the transistor there? I wrapped it around that leg. That's all I did. And make sure those wires are not touching the middle leg of the transistor. That would end in nothing good. So solder that. And then go to the other side and resolder it like such. Okay. So I have my two wires. Now to see that this works, I'll pull out this copper sound breadboard. If you're new to short circuit, I've been using the copper sound breadboards for all the design stuff I've been teaching. But today I'm just modding, but these are still useful. Watch this scenario. I'm going to strip this wire here, insert. I'm going to add the cap on the breadboard so we can hear it together before I solder it in. Okay. All right, so let's put a wire here and a wire here. And then that way I can insert this capacitor onto the breadboard and we'll hear the fuzz or not hear the fuzz if I didn't do it right. Let's hook it up. We're very close. Y'all like that jazz for mods? It's pretty good. Let's see. We're just voiding warranties left and right here. It's wonderful. All right, let's check it. So this is the pedal as you heard it. All right, right, let's attach this. Let's do it this way. We'll put the wire here and here. Oh my gosh. Almost. When I insert this capacitor, all right, Belle, I'm going to wrap this up and we need to give this away. We'll ship it after Thanksgiving. So I'm going to assemble the switch here. I'm not going to go into great detail other than I just need to drill a hole and stuff. I'm basically going to let y'all watch me do this. I'm going to regret this. I've never drilled on live television. Here we go, though. But the first thing I want to do is I need this cap to go onto the switch so that when the switch is down, the cap will turn on. So I'm going to just solder that really quickly. Okay. Let me solder this on. Let's see here. All right. This switch will give us the ability to turn that on and off. And it is worth doing if I'm going to give it away. It makes it a very versatile pedal. I understand. And then essentially we're just going to solder. This is not going to be the cleanest inside, but I don't care. And you don't care either. It's going to be nice. I'll make it nice. It's not going to break on you, that's for sure. We're just going to insert this wire here into that middle position. Let's take these pliers here and bend that wire in. So we're connecting the yellow wire to the middle of the on switch. Okay. Super easy. All right. It doesn't matter which side of the wire. All you're doing is essentially connecting the capacitor over the part. So that's a bad solder joint if I've ever seen one. Hold on. There we go. Solid. And then this other side of the wire, that'll just be to, oh, sorry. That'll be to the other side of the cap. So I'll strip that down a little bit. I'm telling y'all, next time you come back, and I have that 105 lens where I can zoom down a little bit more, you're going to be like, dang, that's so good. All right, we're just going to solder that. Okay. It's a little bit of a speed version of this, but I wanted to get done in an hour and a half. I'm pretty darn close to nailing that. Let's check it and make sure it works before I drill. What I just did is I put the mod on a toggle, okay? That's all I did, but I need to confirm it works. I'm always telling you to slow down, so I need to slow down. Let's see here. So yeah, that works great. Now I need to drill. The best place to drill on the Blues driver is the opening right here. You have to consider when you're drilling where things are. And the most simple place is this spot. There's like an opening, right? And that puts your toggle switch like here at the gain, which I think works good for the fuzz. So I'm gonna use a little punch. You can buy these at like on Amazon or Harbor Freight. You just put it down and you punch it in. And essentially you wanna punch right below the N, like right here. So just not to damage the board, I'm gonna lay it down flat. And I'm gonna punch right below, like right there. And that gives me an indention. I'll tighten this up a little, do it one more time. It just gives an indention for my drill bit. Okay. So now I'm gonna use a step bit because I'm setting here and it's like whatever. I would normally use a drill press, but I'm just gonna freehand it. I've done this a million times. The worst that'll happen is blood goes everywhere. So I'm just gonna insert that step bit's tip right there and very carefully over a trash can. Let's see. This is, hold on. I'm just drilling straight through. Now, what I want to do here is disassemble the switch top. I can't remember how many steps this particular switch is. It's been so long. But I have to drill it the size of that collar, right? So like one, so it's not fitting in there. One more. Okay. One more. Ah, I might have drilled it a little too low. We'll see. You don't want it to get the hole to be too big there because it'll be really hard to fasten it. Let's see. Okay. That's the perfect size. I'm done with the drill. I didn't kill myself. And Dyson for pedal modders near you. All right. You want to shake out all that stuff that might be in there. I kind of kept it from getting in there in the first place. So now we have that hole on the toggle. When it goes up, like if a toggle works like this. So up position like that means it's on. So I'm going to put it in like that. I'm just going to insert it. Oh, I might have to go side to side, which is fine. Let me see here. Y'all asked for this. This is your fault. Your fault. We're going to go side to side. It's easier. So side to side means toggle out. When I do the toggle to the right, it'll activate the fuzz. Side to side will be easier to mount in here, and it has more space. So let us see. Put this on here like this. Do I have rocket sockets for the small little nut? I believe I do. Man, I almost drilled this wrong. We're close. Ah, that is so difficult. Let's see. Okay, I got it started. Oh, it's going up and down. That's backwards though. Let's see here. I really want it to be a certain orientation. If I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna flip it all the way around. Okay, we will go up and down. I managed to do that. So up and down. tightening it with my finger first. This is tricky. I mean, it's taken me an hour and a half to mod this. I used to mod stuff like this in 40 minutes, but this kind of tells you how hard this kind of work is. It's specialty work. It's definitely not easy. Okay. I did it so close to the edge that the rocket socket won't fit, which means I've basically cursed myself to have to use like a flat nose plier, which is my worst nightmare in front of you, to try to do this without scratching the pedal. But you know what? Ugh, I hate using flat nose pliers to tighten toggles. I'm doing it though. Trying not to scratch the pedal. I think I've got it. I did it. I didn't scratch it. Look at me. It's dust, not scratches. All right, we're done with the mod. You know, I have this wire in here. Like, yeah, it's not perfect. You could, if you're doing it on your own, go slower. I'm gonna live stream. As long as it goes down without any kind of like weird tension on the back. Yeah, that's solid. So that inserted. I'm gonna go ahead and, that's my 30-minute timer. I'm at 1 hour and 30 minutes, y'all. Let's see. Let's sign it. Y'all like that noise? There we go. Josh. Scott. It is 11:25:24. Short circuit. All right. Put that back plate on. I'm going to do 2 screws to just hold it down, and then we're going to demo it. And I'm done. I am also regretting already that I didn't test it before I put the back on, in case something's touching. But I am basically going to trust in the powers that be, that it's just going to work for us today. All right. Okay. I wish I had some Davies knobs. Hold on, I'll be right back. I have a bucket of knobs. Give me just a second. I promise I'll be right back. Where's my thing for be right back? All right, I found it. Let's see here. Bell has announced the winner. Joey Skar, S-K-A-R. Joey Skar as the winner. Super cool. Mods Pedals. Been watching the show since episode 1. So you're the winner. I'm going to mail this to you next week. All right, let's look down here. I found all my knobs. Let me see. I'm looking at one quick thing. We are almost done. Here's a bunch of knobs. I found all the knobs. They were all here. Let's see. The classic Davies is what we always used. I don't think I have. Oh, there's a clear one. Okay, hold on. Stand by. Stand by. What do we got? This is like weird pedal noise. There's some cream ones. There's a cream one. They have to match. I can't do mismatched. I'll hate myself. Black. There's a black one. Oh man, oh man. There's no way I'm going to have a matching set of those. I haven't used them in so long. Let's see here. Is it possible? Ah, there's a black one. I need one more black one and we're good. One more. Hold on. I believe. If you believe, type I believe. It's like Santa Claus in Elf when everyone had to believe in him. I need one more black Davies. Oh, come on. Come on. One more. Oh my gosh. Where are we at? Where are we at? You gotta be kidding me. You've gotta be kidding me. I was so close. Let me stare for 1 second. I have everything except that. I'm gonna have to do a mismatched knob color, which I absolutely hate. Ugh. There's a bucket of knobs, and I just need one more Davies knob. I have these two, a cream one and a clear one. This is what we used to use. But I want them to match. It'll hurt me. It'll hurt me. I also need to move on because I just need to move on and finish this episode. Okay, I'm gonna mismatch them. I'm not proud of that, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, actually, I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. All right. Here we go. I'm also just assuming this is working. I'm gonna go black on the volume, classic. Okay. Black volume, black tone, missing a set screw. You gotta be kidding me. Hold on, let me remove the set screw from the cream one. Unbelievable. Y'all, these knobs, you know in Toy Story where the toys wake up? Well, these knobs have been in that bin for like years. They probably woke up and they're like, he's gonna use us. That doesn't fit. I can't use the black one. We're cursed. We're cursed. This is gonna be the most hideous looking knob arrangement. And Joey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can change the knobs later. I'm putting a clear tone control knob. That's not bad. And let's do... I kind of hate that. I hate that with a passion, but we're doing it. Red for drive. Okay. I actually hate this. I hate it. Did I mention I hate it? Let's see if it works. All right. It's lighting up. Here we go. Red for gain. Fuzz toggle turns on with the up. Here we go. All right, we did it together. We've done it. We are done. I've seen worse looking pedals. It needs a sticker. Let's put the, I still have some of these old stickers left. Let's put it over here. Ah, it's crooked. Come on, Josh. Josh, you're better. You're better than this, Josh. You're better. Here we go. Square it up. Oh, yeah. Nope, crooked. What is my deal? I think it's the Band-Aid. It's the Band-Aid. Hold on. No! Still crooked. Oh, my Lord. What is the deal? Come on. There we go. Put one on the back. Always put it over here on the side. That way when you're shredding and people look at your pedal board, they're like, that has a sticker on it. Oh my God. There you go. Totally finished. Ready to ship out. Fuzz mod, better bass, better treble, smoother gain, completely revamped. If you want the recipe, there's the recipe. I'll hold it up for you. Take a screenshot of it, print it. Yeah, there we go. Hour and 45 minutes, you know, it's cool. There you go. That's the mods. Bam, screenshot it. Look at that toggle. I did good, y'all. I've never drilled on live air. Live air, is that the phrase? I don't know. All right, it's been fun. Thanks so much for hanging out. And Thanksgiving, I'll come back, probably build the Third Man Fuzz kit. And then I'm going to gear into teaching you how a fuzz face works. But that'll be probably like 4 episodes. I'm just not ready to do that yet. All right. Have a wonderful afternoon. I don't think I left anything out. We have the winner. Thanks to everyone for being here. And don't eat too much, you know. And make sure you eat the creme brulee sauce that's in the can. The garbage stuff. It's really good. All right. Bye.